So here we have a picture of earlier days, perhaps, a little bit more white now, Rabbi YOSEF CHAIM MIMRAN. And we are reading, he is just a leading, outstanding Torah scholar and Kabbalist who's done just tremendous things. You can read that in this blurb that we have right here by freezing the frame. Let's come over here and see part 5. Part 5, entrance into the spiritual realm. He writes like this, and this is from the Torah Tamim of Rabbi Yaakov Salki. He says like this: the soul is a pure and holy godly energy. The flame of Hashem is the soul of a man, and there is nothing capable of connecting with Hashem more than the human soul. We're in a section, part 5, entrance into the spiritual realm. We live and survive in a physical world where the main priority is finding enough food and shelter to be able to survive and to reproduce. Here he says this is the entrance into the spiritual world from our regular spiritual world. Physical world, rather, I'm sorry. Since ancient times, our Kabbalist masters have hinted to this soul power as the key to entering into the higher spiritual dimensions. Let us give an example that is not too intense and that many people have already experienced. The mitzvah to study the Torah. One can do this without being especially attentive and by superficially reading the words, or one can be totally focused on the subject matter, concentrating on every utterance from one's mouth. Being completely and totally absorbed in the subject matter will manifest on a certain level a very real and tangible spiritual experience. The magnitude of the experience will obviously vary depending on the intensity of the student's concentration. I think that's really an important idea. Some people, because of something that they find something that interests their soul in this, and as a result of Torah, in the study of Torah, and as this, they begin to concentrate on it very carefully. Once a person enters this experience, he must try to internalize the feeling that it accompanies it. This means that he stops for a moment without any mental dialogue and observes the sensations that accompany the experience. Now, for those of you who don't really follow Hebrew, then you probably missed the shir on Rabbi Nachman. Rabbi Nachman is saying basically the same thing, that he must stop for a moment without any mental dialogue. And he says even for a moment, a person has to empty his mind as if he really has no higher level of thought. He's not planning for tomorrow or defending against yesterday, etc. When that happens, it makes it possible for a tikkun to take place. And the definition of the word tikkun is not remedy, and it's not really rebuilding. It is a remedy, and it does rebuild. But what it is, in the Hebrew words, are hismatus, a light. That the light of the Infinite One has to be limited down in such a way and filtered and channeled in such a way that it becomes small enough for us to be able to digest it and become a kli for that. Now, if you could repeat this and hear it again, because that's really what tikkun means. In order for that tikkun to come into you, you have to have an empty space within you in order to be able to receive it. This is part of what the Kabbalists are trying to say, that to get to a higher level, and there are different ways, but one must empty his mind of the thoughts that have to do with what he needs to do to survive. We do need to survive, that's another hand, but we have to develop this hand, the hand of empty mind. Imagine yourself climbing a very high mountain. Once you reach the summit, you are struck with the most breathless view you have ever encountered. At that one moment in time, thought has ceased, and the experience is being internalized by your entire being. This feeling is the soul connecting with the spiritual realm. This connection will be facilitated by the power of the Holy Torah. When awareness of the soul becomes part of your perception, the timeless dimension produces a different kind of knowing, a knowing of which the mind knows nothing. The mind cannot know the tree. It can only know facts or information about the tree. My mind cannot know you, but only labels, judgments, facts, and other opinions about you. There is a place for mind and mind knowledge. It's in the practical realm of day-to-day living. However, when it takes over all aspects of your life, and this is really a point which should be understood really well, there has to be a balance within life. And what Rabbi MIMRAN is saying is that when life normally tilts, we would call it in Kabbalah, to the left, to the defensive posture or the offensive posture, trying to conquer the world, so to speak, and to make a place for yourself. But that's all your life is, including your relationship with other human beings and with nature. It becomes a monstrous parasite that, if not checked, may well have unhealthy effects on its host. Now, the interesting thing is that we started to learn Rabbi Nachman again, is that how these different approaches that were mentioned by Rabbi MIMRAN, because he comes from a long line of Kabbalists, of people who are Sephardic, that view. And Rabbi Nachman, what we're starting to learn over here, and the way that he sees it, is really the same ideas. Is to make Ani Ish Bar, I'm a person with nothing inside of me. This is David HaMelech. So this is referring to the higher function. And here he says Kabbalist masters have hinted to this soul power as the key to entering into the higher spiritual dimensions. And as he's saying, without removing the day-by-day constant thinking that you go just behold it, to sit back, be able for a moment to behold the wonder of the Almighty. The tool for that is the Torah. And by learning Torah and concentrating in it and looking at it, getting deeper into it, we can grow in this dimension. This is Baruch Fleischman, and you're listening to the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.